The road trip started strong for the green and gold. 4 straight wins, including a sweep in New York, something that hasn't happened in 10 years. But the bats of the Blue Jays and Tigers awoke, and the A's found themselves losers in 5 of the last 6 as the tough 10-game Eastern road swing concluded. Tonight, the A's return home to get a clubhouse boost. Sean Manaea, the A's prize prospect, makes his Major League debut. Acquired last summer, the big lefty gets the start and will look to be a permanent fixture in the Athletic starting rotation. Manaea takes the hill. The A's return home, and it all starts right now. Well, the A's are thrilled to be back at the Coliseum here in Oakland to start a 6-game homestand. And tonight, we get our first look at Sean Manaea, the big left-hander. He'll make his Major League debut. We also get our first look at the Houston Astros, first of 19 games between these two teams this year. It's the Astros and the A's coming up on CSN California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, we heard a lot about Sean Manaea when he was acquired from the Kansas City Royals last year. Ray, we saw him a little bit in spring training, and tonight we get to see the real deal. He's a big leaguer tonight, and he's making his Major League debut.
I like that big leaguer part because that's special, and a lot of times a pitcher would come up out of the bullpen and make his Major League debut, but for Sean Manaea, his 45th pitcher in Oakland history, to be able to do that tonight as a starting pitcher to make his Major League debut. Fastball, slider, changeup. He's a big man. If you talk about intimidation, he has the size to intimidate the hitters. Let's hope he can do it against the Astros.
Now, for these Astros, they won 86 games last year. They made the postseason, and when the season was over, they had the best team ERA in the American League. So I can't imagine that they thought their starting rotation would struggle so far this year, but it really has.
And especially the guy right at the top, Dallas Keuchel, last year American League Cy Young Award winner. And look at what he's done this year. He's been kind of the leader, but everybody else in the rotation just not able to pick it up. And unfortunately, if you don't have a starting staff that can go deep in a ball game, they have a very good bullpen, but those starters have to do the job. They have not done it this year, and they've made some changes. We're going to see that tomorrow. But the bottom line, Dallas Keuchel is a type of pitcher. There are a lot of innings last year, won the Cy Young Award, but this year he's just not been the same.
So tonight it's Sean Manaea and Mike Fiers, the big right-hander for the Houston Astros. That is your pitching matchup in Game 1 of this 3-game series. So a nice crowd tonight on a Friday night at the Coliseum. It's always good to be home. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back.
is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Sean Manaea, his Major League debut. First one out of the dugout. He's ready to go. Yeah. And so are we at the start of a 6-game homestand. Whole bunch of family members, family and friends here to root on the big left-hander tonight. A night that he will surely always remember. And let's hope it's a good one. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 61 degrees. It's a nice night here at the ballpark. A little cooler where we came from. So we're glad to be home for a whole bunch of reasons. Let's look at the lineup tonight for the visiting Houston Astros. It's a pretty good lineup. Jose Altuve at second, George Springer right, Carlos Correa at short, Evan Gattis the DH, Colby Rasmus off to a big start. He's at left. Tyler White's the rookie first baseman. Then a struggling Carlos Gomez is in center. Marwin Gonzalez at third. Eric Kratz is your catcher.
And the big man, Sean Manaea, wearing number 55, his Major League debut, and see his numbers at AAA Nashville. 2-0 with a 150 earned run average. How about that? Just 4 walks, 21 strikeouts. That will fit very nicely. And he's got the hair. He's always had the hair. Had it in spring training and did not cut it at all in AAA. So we wish him well tonight in his Major League debut.
Defensively behind Manaea, A's will have Coco Crisp in left, Billy Burns in center, and Josh Reddick in right. Left side of the diamond, it's Chris Coghlan and Marcus Semien. On the right side, it's Jed Lowry and Yonder Alonso, and Stephen Vogt is your catcher. So we're set for baseball. A's in the all whites and the Astros with the orange tops and the gray pants as Jose Altuve digs in.
Fastball first pitch if he swing. I don't think he's going to wait around.
Can't lay one in there to this guy. He's still digging in.
It's impressive you tie your shoes with batting gloves on pine tar. That's pretty good.
And first big league pitch from Sean Manaea is a strike, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. So we're underway from the Coliseum.
7-0-7.
Now that first pitch strike, and it's taken out and given to Dominic to authenticate it, his first major league pitch, and congratulations, it was a strike. Sad, surprised that Altuve didn't swing, so he doesn't wait around after that.
A little flare, and Reddick has come a long ways, and he makes the catch. 1 out.
Jeff, I think the biggest thing, and again, we saw in spring training, the composure of the young man. His motion, a low 90s fastball, tops out about 94, hard slider, and he slings the ball, which is only Rasmus, the left-hander in the lineup tonight. Change up also. And I think also, more than anything, working with Stephen Vogt, the veteran catcher. And he gets a chance to work with him and kind of guide him along as Vogt knows all these hitters.
First pitch to Springer is hit in the hole, backhanded. Marcus Semien up the throw to first, not quite in time. So Springer has good speed, and it was going to be a tough play for Marcus after he fielded it cleanly.
Well, slight slip after he did field the ball. And going down to the knee and coming up quickly, but the speed of Springer does it all. He's running out of the batter's box. Nice scoop at first base, much closer than it really seemed, and almost called immediately by Brian Knight, but he was safe.
Batting in the third position.
So runner aboard.
Number 1.
And I do not think
Correa.
Jose Altuve took the first pitch, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of taking the Astros. They know he's making his major league debut and probably going to be using a lot of fastballs, and this is a fastball hitting club, and especially this young man, rookie of the year last year.
Up to a pretty good start. 3 homers, 9 RBIs at a 275 average, and the first pitch is in for a strike.
Nice slide step at 93 miles per hour. The first pitch fastball.
Evan Gattis to follow. And the Astros is a dangerous team when it comes to stealing bases. Springer has a big lead at first. And now the count 1-1 to Carlos Correa. There's a good look at Sean Manaea. He's 24 years old. He's 6'5", 245 pounds.
It's a big boy.
He was the 34th overall pick in the 2013 draft. So really, Ray, just really two years in the minors plus a month. So really not a lot of time in the minor leagues. And Springer is thrown out trying to steal. A great throw by Stephen Vogt, and that's out number 2. No arguments from Springer.
Well, Manaea able to use a slide step, gets the ball quickly to Stephen Vogt, but Vogt, he's there, had the arm strength in addition to the quick release. Jed Lowrie really helping out by taking the throw on the bag as the 2 arms one. That's a lot closer play, and maybe sometimes they infielders go for the body and not the hand, and Springer, although he did not argue, but that was a lot of help from. But watch the tag. Lowrie put the glove down, but was the hand really on the bag first? And you know, he put the glove down, but his hands went around. Surprised he didn't argue a little bit, but he did not. The A's get the call.
2-2 pitches outside. 3-2 to Carlos Correa.
Stephen Vogt's footwork has been fantastic. Footwork, quick release, and that time he had a lot on his throw. And remember, just after FanFest, he had bone chips taken out of his elbow.
They pitch and change up, and Correa swings and misses. So pretty good first inning for Sean Manaea. He finishes it with a strikeout. Bottom of the first coming up. Coverage is airing right now on CSN Plus. CSN Plus can be found on Comcast channels 105 and 780, DirecTV channel 698-1 and AT&T at 768, and then in high def at 1768. Now, if you can't find CSN Plus, log on to csncalifornia.com or call your local cable provider. So, bottom of the first, good inning for Sean Manaea in his Major League debut, and now the A's come to bat here against Mike Fiers, the right-hander.
That was an impressive first inning. A lot of good things happened for the A's and Sean Manaea in that half inning.
First pitch to Billy Burns is in for a strike.
One thing about Fiers, he is not overpowering with his fastball. That was at 90, and that's about where he tops out. Right over the top. He is tall, which helps in his delivery.
Runs off the plate. Burns at 268 with an RBI. That would hit up the middle, and that's a base hit. So a leadoff single for Billy Burns. Let's look at the rest of the lineup for the A's. You saw Burns, and then Jed Lowrie up to a good start. Looking forward to playing against his old team. And then Reddick, Davis, Vogt, Coghlan, Chris, Alonso, and Simeon.
And as I mentioned, Mike Fiers, the starter. He started 3 times last year against the A's. A whole bunch of home runs hit against him. But in the rotation this year, 2-1 is his record in 4 starts. So as we mentioned, really not overpowering. He does throw a lot of different pitches, but 90 is about where he tops out with his fastball. Cutter, curveball, slider, changeup.
So keep an eye on Burns. He has not been thrown out yet this year. He's 6 for 6. First pitch to Lowry's outside. Lowry at 325, no home runs and 12 RBIs.
Let's also keep an eye out on the defense of the Astros. They shift a lot.
I think they shift the most. Is that correct? I believe they
are, if not the most, the tops. The Angels came in having already shifted 79 times, and that was the second week of the season. But the Astros kind of the leader in that department. Right now, 3 to the right side against their former teammate Jed Lowry.
Teams with the most defensive shifts. Astros just had a gut feeling, didn't we, Ray?
Yeah. They'll probably be at the top of the list all year.
One hit foul just down to our left. Foul ball alley. There's A.J. Hinch trying to right the ship. Last year, 86 wins. They were the second wild card team in their first appearance since 2005 in the postseason, and that's the year they went to the World Series and were swept by the White Sox. Burns goes, pitches a ball, throw to second base is in time. All them out. Pretty good throw by Kratz.
I might check that one. Bob Melvin is going to take a look. It looked like the hand got in, and Bob Melvin's hearing from Adam Roden upstairs. Check the hand. Great throw. You're right about Kratz. If you got him on the left arm, this is what they're looking at. Did his hand get in first? And they're going to say yes, it did, and caught steal. A great throw by Kratz. So straight up, fired a bullet to second base. So
a couple of very close plays at second base.
Exactly. And maybe a little bit too early to challenge.
So the first time this year that Burns has been thrown out. Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
Well, the outfield, we talk about the infield shifting. Look where the outfield, Rasmus in left field, someplace over in here. I mean, he's unbelievably playing close to the line. They expect Jed Lowry. We saw him last year. Remember, the Astros go to the opposite field hitting a lot of doubles. That's extreme, though, for Rasmus.
That'll be interesting to watch the Astros shifts since they do it more than anybody else. Pat Hoberg is calling balls and strikes. Then it's Brian Knight, Todd Tishner, who's been active early, and Bill Miller. Bill Miller's the crew chief, and that's him right there.
He's home in Santa Cruz, so he'll probably have his family up during this weekend. Day game tomorrow, day game Sunday. Look at Kratz. I see his size. Kind of think of the first base coach now, former rookie of the year, Sandy Alomar Jr. His
tall, very tall.
Very tall. And they got to stand up, and boy, he's got a cannon to throw to second base, as he just showed.
On the ground, right to Tyler White, who scoops it up. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Astros defense tonight. It's a good outfield of Rasmus, Gomez, and Springer. And then on the infield, Marwin Gonzalez, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, and Tyler White. And Eric Kratz. So here's Reddick.
Infield didn't move. They just stayed in their same position.
Something, huh?
Yeah, on the right side. Gonzalez at third, actually playing halfway, but even on the grass. And Reddick's been known to bunt even with a couple of outs. Shading him definitely the opposite field in the air.
There's the shift.
Somewhere Harold Baines has to be so happy to see all these shifts. And you know, this is exactly the way the great Harold Baines, even before shifts were in vogue, but the outfield would always play him to the opposite field.
So he was one of the few guys back in the 80s and 90s that shifted on for a hitter.
they didn't do it so much on the infield. I guess Ted Williams was the first ever. You know, that they shifted on him, but he would hit over the shift.
Yeah, I don't think Ted was worried about it.
No, because if the umpire, the pitcher threw it, Ted took it. Catcher said that's a strike. He said Ted didn't swing. It's a ball.
Well, that's a good spot to be in if you can get yourself to that spot.
You got that reputation, man. That's pretty good.
Look at that youngster.
Oh, that's a happy day.
Sight. He'd go home right now, and that's right. He would be the happiest kid in the world.
Wow, that's great. Daddy's
Look
happy,
at that,
boy. Wow, I got a baseball.
Big overhand curve. Reddick swings and misses. Side retired, but that little boy's face, well, that's going to make us enjoy this 2-minute break. No score.
Of course, the big guy, Sean Manaea. That's the key for tonight, his major league debut, and he's done well in the first inning. And yes, a better home record, 3-7 for the Athletics at home after playing over 500 on the road. The A's just had a 500 road record, but they need to start playing better here, and maybe Sean Manaea can be the start and the spark plug for them here at the Coliseum.
0-1 to Evan Gattis inside, 1-1 the count. So the A's 11-12 overall, and first meeting of the year with these Houston Astros. Astros won the season series last year 10-9, and that one's hit deep, and that one is going to lead the yard. Evan Gattis with his first home run of the year, and it's 1-0 Houston.
Very strong. 11 triples last year, not one stolen base, a whole bunch of home runs, Crawford boxes, all those good things. But this one, just a big swing from a lumberjack, and he's got a huge swing, very strong. He knew it was gone as soon as he hit it. Just watch him set the bat down, no batting gloves, head down, saw it, started the trot, no shift, straight up, but that's over everything.
Well, Manaea gave up 1 home run in 18 innings in his 3 starts in AAA. And now he faces Colby Rasmus, who takes inside. Very fine season for Rasmus early on. 7 home runs and 19 RBIs. Astros overall as a team are 7-15, so they are tied with the Minnesota Twins for the worst record in the American League as we close out the month of April, and they have lost 7 out of their last 9. I don't know if they're worried. Maybe they're trying to figure out why they're just not playing better all around. The pitching has not been very good. Offense has been decent, not great, but hitting home runs.
Well, they might start looking at, well, this is only one of 6 months.
Yeah,
they have a month of April, and a lot of things can change in the next April, next month, that is.
Kokko's going to come in and make the catch. Astros were off yesterday after losing 2 out of 3 in Seattle. So Jose Altuve, we showed you his numbers. He's having a great start, but everybody else,
Tyler
Rasmus is having a decent year, but nobody's really kind of helping Altuve out at the top of the order. And they're hitting 197 with runners in scoring position. So some things that are going to need to change for the Astros.
Yeah, first pitch slider thrown by Manaea, and Stephen Vogt called a 3-2 changeup to strike out Correa. Very impressive pitch, and looks like Manaea very smartly just saying, you call the pitch, I'm going to throw it.
Probably a good idea.
Very good idea, considering it's his major league debut. And as Rich Hill has said, and Rich has pitched extremely well, winning 3 games, has said Stephen Vogt's been back there. He knows. Vogt has caught all 5 starts of Rich Hill.
Center field, Burns got a good jump, and he makes the catch. A couple of line drive outs after the home run here in the second.
That might have been a little bit towards the end of the bat, but you're right. Billy Burns got a tremendous jump on the ball and thought it might be dying quickly in center field, but he got to it easily.
So here's Carlos Gomez.
Isn't that nice of him? He said hello to the A's dugout, said hello to Stephen Vogt, and home plate umpire. Yeah. Very personable young man.
Astros are also glad he's in the lineup. He got hit by a pitch on Wednesday in Seattle. Hit him on the right hand, and he had to leave the game. So hand was sore, but he is in there back in the lineup tonight. So that's good news for the Astros, although he is really struggling. Hitting 197 with just 2 RBIs. He's got 22 strikeouts in 76 at bats.
He can play Towns Hill, though. Houston.
Under the glove of Lowry, and Gomez has a 2-out single. So he's a threat to go. He's very fast.
Tap, he got a base hit, too. Jed Lowry thought he's going to come up and make a quick throw to first base, just didn't get the glove down all the way.
Marwin Gonzalez.
So that's the 3rd hit for the Astros.
He's not worried about April.
No, he's not. Good for him.
Or 197. Might have got him off the interstate. Might have put him up.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Switch hitter. 220 overall with a home run. First pitch is a strike from Manaea.
Springer was caught stealing in the first inning, and Manaea and the Astros know, we're seeing him, that he's using a slide step, but he's not losing anything off his pitches whenever he uses a slide step with a runner on.
Good lead. Runner goes, and the ball's fouled back, and Carlos Gomez got a pretty good jump there.
He went on first move, and you'll see a lot of base runners do that exact thing and just not take any chances, worry about a throw to first base. Alonso, a very good first baseman. So if a throw over can get him, but I think just the slide step that he is utilizing is something that helping him get the ball to the plate quicker. Slide step where the right foot kind of drags, slides along the ground. That's the case with a left-handed pitcher.
Another big lead. Gomez actually inches off a little further. Throw it over there.
That was called a courtesy throw.
It's all right.
That's it. Just to show that he throws. That's the main thing. Don't have to throw it to try to pick the guy off, just to let him know that if you take off, I may throw over anyway.
He has got a huge lead. And this one's hit high in the air right to Reddick. Reddick's there. He's got it. Gonzalez is out, and so are the Astros, but a solo home run by Evan Gattis, his first of the year, gives the Astros a 1-0 lead. Astros with a 1-0 lead thanks to the Gattis home run. It'll be Chris Davis, Stephen Vogt, and Chris Coghlan. Friday night at the Coliseum.
No school tomorrow. Go out and enjoy a baseball game.
They made it through another week of school.
Get a pet calendar we'll talk about in a moment, but big night here at the Coliseum.
First pitch to Chris Davis, up and away.
Special night for the people above us too, right?
That's right. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Best deal in Bay Area baseball right above us. The value deck.
That's right.
You get a dry fit t-shirt tonight. Broken bat by Chris Davis. Hit that ball right off the end of the bat.
Cupped out bat. You can see the cupped in, which means you hit the ball right on the end, it's going to splinter it and have to get a new one. They cup the end of the bat, take some of the weight out, keep the good wood and the meat part of the bat, but cup it out. Maybe take an ounce or two, half ounce out. Maybe you have to ask the great Steve Vucinich just how much weight it does take out when you cup a bat.
That's a swing, says Brian Knight. 1-2 to Davis, hitting .231, 3 homers, 9 RBIs. Had a very nice road trip. I think on the road trip we saw the real Chris Davis.
Yeah. The real power.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him hit the same ball hit in Detroit here. See where it would end. Those people in the suites might be in trouble, because he crushed the ball at Comerica Park. Left center, cold weather. I think the suite level would be in trouble here. Maybe people get souvenirs they never dream about getting.
This one popped up behind first. Tyler White, foul territory, makes the catch.
On a special night, as I mentioned, the pet calendar given away, but also the Tony La Russa Hall of Fame manager, Animal Rescue Foundation, and very involved. He's at that for many, many years, maybe going back 20 or 30 years, and they have a great foundation. And of course, the Central Garden and Pet with the giveaway tonight in the pet calendar. You can see the players and their animals, their dogs, their cats, whatever it might be on the calendar, which enables you to check out the schedule for the athletics all season long with a pet calendar. But Tony La Russa has been involved with ARF, Animal Rescue Foundation. He and his wife Elaine started it, and it all started right here when there's a cat got away, and it ended up in the dugout, and Tony opened the door to the little bathroom, put the cat in there, and they rescued it. And that started the Animal Rescue Foundation.
1-0 to Stephen Vogt, 254 his average.
Yeah, for Stephen Vogt tonight to go back to Memorial Day last year when Jesse Hahn, who will be starting tomorrow, pitched a shutout. Stephen Vogt caught him and he was ecstatic. Stephen Vogt said, I went 0 for 4. I don't care. I caught a shutout. And tonight for him catching Sean Manaea in his major league debut, there's a lot on Stephen Vogt's mind. He wants to hit, do as well, but his job is behind the plate with the rookie pitcher.
Behind in the count now, 1-2. Stephen Vogt was 2 for 12 in that Detroit series, and on the road trip 8 hits and 32 at bats. 10-game trip. As Ray said, he's finished 5-5.
He could not have hit a ball any harder or farther yesterday.
Yeah, he hit a couple balls pretty good in Detroit. Got nothing to show for.
Bob Melvin happy to be back to Coliseum. Happy to be in some nice weather. It's frigid in Detroit for the 4 games.
In the air toward left. And Rasmus is there. So 2 outs. Quite a bit of player movement for the A's today. Chris Bassitt was placed on the 15-day disabled list. Sean Manaea, of course, brought up, and Andrew Triggs brought back up. Matt McBride, who was with the A's just for a couple days, optioned back down to AAA Nashville.
Well, that bottom note, Sam Fuld transferred to 60 out for the season. Wow.
That's too bad.
Yeah. 60-day DL. There's Super Sam Fuld, and man, it's not encouraging news for him, but or for the ball club.
First pitch to Coghlan is a fastball high. So a lot of movement.
You walk in the clubhouse and you see the active players, and you see the guys on the disabled list. And when the A's are back in town, they're there getting. Of course, Brian Shulman stays back and works them out, and under rehab assignments here at the Coliseum. The full clubhouse is not even September.
Sure. Well, Chris Bassitt, of course, has not been good his last 2 starts. And could be a little concern with Chris Bassitt if he's healthy or not. We'll find out more about his health as next couple days probably.
Yeah.
But there has to be a little concern. Velocity down. He's not pitching well.
But if nothing else, they're getting an X-ray, MRI to find out what's wrong. If there's something. And
so Coghlan has a 2-out hit.
that has to make a hitter feel so great to look out and see 3 guys on the right side, and you're able to split the gap. Off-speed pitch, but look at this swing. Great swing by Chris Coghlan. And just splits the gap between, I guess it would be the shortstop. Look where it is. Straight through there, man. That's the thing of beauty. So you go to beat shift. Put it in as an asterisk beside.
Could do that a lot now.
Yeah.
Coco Crisp at 207, couple of home runs, 6 RBIs. Coco was 1 for 11 in that series in Detroit. Fouls that one just up over the A's dugout.
Again, looking at Kobe Rasmus in left field. I mean, Coco Crisp has some power. They're shading him, pulling. Figured he's going to pull the ball on the ground, but the outfield extreme shift to the opposite way. And the straight away center field could roll forever, and he could run forever.
And he hits one high to right field. Springer's going back. He's at the wall, and that baby's gone.
Two-out magic for the Athletics. RBI single, and Coco Crisp, his 3rd home run of the season, and a big one, giving the A's a 2-1 lead.
So Fiers gives up his 7th home run of the year in 23 innings. Alonso shows bunt, takes a strike. So that has been a problem for Fiers, and it's also been a problem for the Astros. The long ball. Quick 0-2 to Alonso, who's hitting 154 with 3 RBIs. Shutdown innings as a team. The Astros have not been good there either. The pitching just has not been good. Right there, strike 3 called. Alonso knew it, but a 2-run homer by Coco Crisp. A 2-out 2-run shot, and the A's have a 2-1 lead after 2 innings. So Sean Manaea has a lead as he goes back to work.
Hey fans, Tara here. This is my new friend Roma.
A 2-run homer. A's lead 2-1 top of the 3rd. First pitch to Eric Kratz is line foul. Kratz, and then the top of the order, Altuve and Springer.
Well, you can see the aggressiveness of the Astros against Sean Manaea. They're going up and swinging. That's why the first pitch changeup that was called by Shaylin Vogt had Kratz way out in front, pulling it foul.
Kratz is 1 for 17 on the year, and the catching position for the Astros, I mean, it's been an out this year. Jason Castro is hitting 128. Kratz is hitting 059.
Maybe the Astros
So nothing.
Spring training, they were talking about Derek Norris as a possibility. Yeah. They were talking also catcher of Milwaukee.
Lucroy. Yeah,
is a
good
possibility.
player.
So
you may have to revisit that. Castro's a good defensive catcher, but he has struggled offensively really for a couple years now, and this year.
And the Rangers, they also were talking about those catchers. So both teams in Texas, the American League, were inquiring about other catchers. There is Jason Castro from Castro Valley.
3-1 pitch is inside, so a leadoff walk. Hey, the 10th season of the CSN All-Star Teacher Program is upon us, recognizing teachers that make a difference. Make sure you visit csncalifornia.com and vote. The winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. And we have a special guest tonight, and that young lady right there is Mrs. Michelle Lamone's Rayford. She teaches English, American Sign Language, speech, and debate at Pinole Valley High School, and she is one of the 5 finalists with that chance to win $20,000 for her school. So good luck to her. She's doing a fine job. Log on to csnbayarea.com to cast your vote. Plus, she has the family decked out in A's colors.
Yeah,
which is
I like
nice.
that. That's got the blanket on a beautiful night at the Coliseum. Sweatshirts, got it all.
Yep.
Just need a foul
And
ball.
she's got her hands full. Tap to Simeon. He's got it. Out at second, and the throw to first is in time. I don't know if Altuve slipped coming out of the box or what happened, but turned out to be an easy double play.
Jen Lowry coming across the bag, anticipating Altuve getting down the line quickly, but something happened. He must have slipped because that was tailor-made, but Lowry coming across and got Altuve by plenty. And Jose with a big swing, and right there, a little slip, and this shut her down pretty much. Lost his shoe, or did it? No, lost his something. I guess it was his shin guard, but nicely turned anyway by the Athletics.
So Springer hits with 2 outs, and he taps one right back to Manaea. So a nice, easy inning, even though there was a leadoff walk. He needed only 8 pitches to finish off the Astros. 2-1 A's as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. California is brought to you by AAA. What does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? Well, it should do more. Go to AAA.com for details. Cooling off here at the Coliseum as nighttime starts to arrive. A's with a 2-1 lead, bottom of the 3rd. Simeon, Burns, and Lowry. Driven to right, but Springer gets back, and he's got it. So a hard hit ball.
And a rare one hit by Marcus Simeon to right field. It stayed inside the ball, an inside out swing.
So right, Manaea pitching tonight, obviously, and the A's have announced that Jesse Hahn is going to start tomorrow. So he will be called up. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, they actually, Kendall Graveman has been moved back to Monday. Rich Hill's going to stay on turn on Sunday. Bob Melvin said it's important to keep him there. He's pitching so well, and why not keep him there? So there's Chris Bassett. Unfortunately, elbow issues, so he's placed on the disabled list. But as we talk, maybe be able to find out what has been causing the reduced velocity.
So the A's will have to make a move tomorrow as well for Jesse Hahn. Correa quickly to first, and they just get Burns. Like that ball may have hit the mound and Need to change directions just a little bit.
Well, you see Correa come charging in. Boom, it carried back a little bit towards him. But I think Darren Vautier's hitting coach said it best. If an infielder has to go left or right to try to get Billy Burns, they're not going to do it. That ball coming straight at Correa. Very, very strong arm, as we have seen him take balls in the hole in shallow left field and throw out base runners. So very talented young man. And what a future for him. So young and already a star.
Lowry swings and misses.
Say, were it not for Correa, Jed Lowry probably would not be back with the A's, because Jed was going to play shortstop, had an injury. Correa came up, and Jed ended up playing third base last year. Did a good job. Signed with the Astros following the 14 season. Actually signed a 3-year contract. And after 1 year, traded back to the Athletics. Good to have him. He's been swinging the bat well. Driving in runs, 12 runs driven in.
Sliding up to the 2 spot. Lowry hitting over 300 from both sides of the plate. Got 4 doubles.
But we will, and we do see a lot of the outfield, and tell you, this outfield playing him very, very shallow. Very shallow in center and left for sure.
Yeah, Springer and Wright's about normal depth, but he is slid over toward the right center as well. So really, the infield shifts have been pretty normal, but it's the Astros outfield shifts that have got us taking notice.
I don't know if those young guys even think there's a baseball game going on. It's what can we eat?
Just they're out of the house. They're not at school.
That's right. And got a big bag of something they're munching on, which is good.
Two and 2 the count. Coco Crisp with a 2-run homer in the 2nd inning for the A's 2 runs. Marwin Gonzalez back up over. He's got it inside, retired. So that's a 3 up, 3 down inning for Mike Fiers, and we're headed to the 4th. .33 pitches through the first 3 innings for Sean Manaea, making his major league debut. Good so far. 1 strikeout, 1 walk. And there's the friends and family section for Manaea, who is Samoan but actually grew up in Indiana. How about that? He went to Indiana State, the Sycamores. So we think he's the 2nd best athlete to come out of Indiana State. Of course, the great Larry Bird went there. So we'll give that to Larry.
Josh Fegley's from there too. So
that's right.
Got a battery.
The great state of Indiana.
That's right. The Hoosier country.
So 3-0 to Carlos Correa. Gaddis to follow, and then Rasmus here in the top of the fourth. There's Josh Fegley. Feeling a little bit better. Had that sore wrist.
Well, last year, Carlos Correa got a 3-0 count, and he hit a moonshot straight up.
4-pitch walk. Second walk issued by left-hander. All right, here's our Ford right choice. Let's get to know this young man. Again, 24 years old. He's a big fella. A high draft pick, and it was the trade. The Royals wanted Ben Zobrist. They said, we got to have this guy, and let's hope it turns out to be everything the A's hoped that it would be. And not a lot of time in the minor leagues. 214 career innings in the minors, and really, that's not that much. Drafted in 2013. Did not pitch in the minors in 2013. So 14 and 15. Good numbers.
If you're good anymore, you're not spending a lot of time in the minor leagues, especially if you're a pitcher. And in the case of Carlos Correa, he's great, and he's going to be in the Astros lineup.
And it helped too that he's a college kid, so you got 3 years there. So 0-1 the count to Gaddis.
Evan Gaddis missed all of spring training at a sports hernia, and it has not affected him tonight. He had a fuller beard last year, but a big season for the Astros in their championship year. But he's going to catch. Remember when we were at Atlanta, he was catching for the Braves, and A.J. Hinch, a former catcher and a manager, and Evan Gaddis said he's looking forward to it, because he has been strictly as a DH, and well, you can offer a lot more if you're playing both sides of the ball, defense and offense.
Gaddis. No swing.
Wow.
Got the body out there.
Well, they went after the slider, but did hold up, no stride. And you're right, a lot of body, but very strong wrists and arms, hands, and get the bat back.
Just missed. Close pitch though. 94 miles an hour. 2-2 the count.
And again, that's from a slide step. So often we talk about when a pitcher goes to the slide step to try to keep the runner close, he's going to lose some of his velocity. But he is not. Manaea is not. He's throwing just as hard and getting rid of the ball quickly. Think that the Astros might be running.
Well, they're getting leads like they are going to run.
Yeah, you're right.
All the base runners for the Astros, especially the guys that do run, they had huge leads. And I remember last year they did the same thing.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like they're tempting the pitcher to throw over.
Exactly. Three-two pitch. The throw, and did they get him? No, the ball trickled out of the glove of Lowry. So Correa was going, and the A's read it right. Manaea made the throw to Alonso. And Alonso's throw to Lowry was a little high, but let's see if he's out, if Lowry holds on to it. He never really got a glove.
Yeah, he tried to catch before he tagged, and the thing that happened to Alonso as Manaea threw over, it was offline. He had to reach for it. It's going to be an error on the.
So it's a caught stealing E3. That's the ruling. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Chase something upstairs.
A high fastball, and after hitting a home run in his first at bat, this time Evan Gaddis goes upstairs out of the strike zone. Although we can't fault him for that, because last year when Tyler Clippert hit a ball that was about head high, straight away center field. So he can go up the ladder and hit him, as he did last year. But you know, unfortunately, Alonso's going to get an error on a play that was difficult for him, because If you see that he knows a runner's going, he's got to come after the pitcher, at the pitcher.
That one is skied into the right field corner. Reddick's going to get over there, and it'll be foul, not by a lot.
But as a first baseman comes to the ball, he's wanting it to be in the area. When you have to reach, that throws everything off. And Alonso, a very good first baseman, had to hurry his throw because of the throw coming from Manaea, which was a little bit off.
So 1-1 to Colby Rasmus, tying run at second base. Drops down a little bit, does Manaea. Tyler White, right-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. Close pitch, 2-1. .46 pitches for Manaea. His pitch count's pretty good.
Just 8
so
last
far.
inning. 9 in the first, 8 in the third. Facing a dangerous hitter.
And another close pitch called the ball, 3-1.
Colby Rasmus was the first player ever to accept a qualifying offer.
First one.
First one in the history, as long as they've been offered the qualifying. Brett Anderson, other players did, but Colby Rasmus said, yeah, you offer me qualifying, I'll take it. And he did, and he's having a good season.
I think it was a good move by Colby Rasmus.
Absolutely.
I mean, was he going to get a 2 or 3 year contract? Maybe, but the qualifying offer is $15 million.
15.8.
15.8.
That's almost 16. If you would have rounded up,
I mean, that's a lot of money.
I mean, so you're taking a chance. Okay, I can go out in the market. If I decline it, am I going to get more than the 15.8 for one? Will it be for two? You know, when I can get it for one, and you can have a great year and then go to free agency. And or maybe they'll offer him again. It'll be higher.
But boy, that's a huge 1 year salary.
Absolutely.
15.8.
I agree. And he's having a great year. You were talking about the Sunday night game that he hit the tying home run in the 9th inning with 2 outs against the Red Sox. And good night.
Now he could not get a qualifying offer again.
Is that what it is?
I think you can
just
only
one time.
do it one time.
Well, then he took a chance and taken it one time and then go free agency after. And if he has the year that he started out, he's going to get his multi-year deal. But I give him credit. He was happy in Houston, wanted to stay there, and they offered him the qualifying. Manaea's looking for a ground ball. He got one last inning off of the always aggressive and tough hitter Jose Altuve. Turned it into a double play.
1-0 pitch to Tyler White, and that's a strike. Tyler White, the rookie first baseman, won the job in spring training.
Little drop down by Manaea. That may be a little bit of a tough look for a pitcher. As opening up was White. Had a great start to the season.
Yep. He had 5 home runs in his first 15 games. The Astros have one of their big prospects is a player by the name of A.J. Reed. He's a big, strong, left-handed hitting first baseman. A lot of people thought he would be the guy that would win the job in spring training. It turns out it's Tyler White. Missed again. He's not missing by a lot. 3-1.
Every pitch he's missed with his fastball has been outside. And while it's dangerous to pitch inside, sometimes you have to finish. And this, maybe there was some question coming from the dugout. Stephen Vogt shaking his head. Maybe they asked, was it a strike?
Foul territory. Coghlan could have a play, and he makes the catch, tumbles over. Out number 2.
A lot of foul territory, Chris, playing third base. He's been all over the field, but at third base there is a tremendous amount of foul territory. And White, now this is twilight. Saw Collins miss a ball in the twilight, which was a twilight in Detroit, in center field. This foul territory. I got it. Steve Vogt said, "You could have it. I don't want it." As third baseman coming in's got a better angle. Everybody's looking up, trying to find it, and Coghlan caught it, fell backwards, but held on. Nice play. And this is a tough sky right now. This is twilight, and this ball going up can be a little tough to pick up, especially as high as that one was.
Not quite fully dark just yet. So here's Carlos Gomez. He had a base hit in the second inning. Good pitch there. Call the ball. Must be a little outside, but
yeah, they have to be. And now Stephen Vogt set up there and didn't have to move much, if any, to get to the ball. And he's not complaining.
Gomez had a pretty good rip that time. 94 miles an hour. 1-1 the count.
See how much better that was when he finished. 94 inside, and Gomez fouled it over to the right side. But the big man able to finish it that way. Of course, the slider, once he perfects that, the slider down and in to right-handers, the good fastball in.
So 1-2 coming right at him.
You know, but Sean Manaea may have learned a lot on Sunday from Rich Hill, watching him with his breaking ball as a lefty. Manaea throws just the slider, whereas Rich Hill has been throwing a great curveball for a lot of strikes. See if it goes the slider down and in after throwing the fastballs inside.
1-2 pitch. Another fastball at 94, and another good swing, and another foul ball.
Like Stephen Vogt raised his glove a little bit, trying to get him to elevate, and did not get it up as far maybe as he wanted. Try the Evan Gattis fastball up and out of the strike zone. There it is.
Breaking ball, swing and a miss, bounces away from Vogt, but not far. And Gomez strikes out, so Sean Manaea gets out of the jam, strikes out a couple in the fourth inning. Bottom of the fourth coming up. A's Baseball on CSN California, brought to you by PG&E, together building a better California. So the A's leading 2-1. It's the bottom of the fourth inning. Mike Fiers has been good, except for a 2-out single to Coghlan, followed by a 2-run homer by Coco Crisp. Reddick taps this one slowly toward first. Nice big hop for Tyler White. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Jess struck out on a curveball his first at bat and was frustrated. And this at bat, he took the first pitch almost like he wanted to see how hard Fiers is throwing. And then swung at the 0-1 pitch with the ground out. I think at times your hitters are accustomed to seeing fastballs in the mid-90s. And now if they're not there, it's hard to wait back. And while 5 miles per hour may not sound like a lot in baseball terminology, fastball mid-90s is sometimes very difficult to hit.
High fastball there at 90 miles an hour to Chris Davis. 1-1 the count. Davis fouled out to first back in the 2nd inning. There's Mike Fiers was part of a big trade with the Brewers. Astros got Carlos Gomez and Fiers. Gave up a package of prospects back to the Milwaukee Brewers, and some pretty good prospects. Gomez will be a free agent after this year. For Fiers, this is just his 3rd year, so the Astros have him under control for quite a while. Pitch. There's the high fastball again. 1-2. Last year, Fiers a combined season, he went 7-10 in 30 starts between the Brewers and the Astros. He made 9 starts with Houston after the trade. A little bit low, but a good pitch.
That's a tough pitch not to swing at, but deemed low by the home plate umpire. It's the Cy Young Award winner Dallas Keuchel from last year.
Will not see him in this series. Chris Davis, a shot toward left. Rasmus won't get it. It's going to shoot by him and go to the wall. Rasmus has a good arm. He fires it back in, but it's a 1-out double. So hit number 4. A memorable start for Mike Fiers. In fact, it was a no-hitter. He no-hit the Dodgers in August, and it was the first no-hitter in the history of Minute Maid Park, so that was a big deal. He had just been traded over there, making friends with his new teammates, Jed Lowry. The combined numbers again, 7-10 through 180 innings. Here's Vogt. Vogt hit a fly ball to left field in the 2nd. This one is skied in the air. Just below us.
Meanwhile, Chris Davis crushed another double. And when he makes contact, every ball he hits, when he hits it, it's hard. That ball, Kobe Rasmus could not get to it and cut the ball off. It was hit so hard.
A little bit outside. 1-1 count.
This ball is hooking. Rasmus goes after it. Watch it. Boom, it's gone. Just by him. And actually made a close play at second base. Chris Davis had to hurry to get in safely, but was able to make it in for a double. But it just seems like every time he hits a ball, when he makes solid contact, it flies. And we saw him on the road trip and again tonight.
Starting to heat up.
Got a new haircut. He didn't worry about cutting off his power. You're not going to get a haircut like this.
No, I'm good. Good where I'm at. Good swing there. Stephen Vogt got a fastball, 90 miles an hour. Pitching with Fiers, he doesn't I wouldn't say his fastball is overpowering, but he does have the ability to pitch up in the strike zone, and he will get a fair amount of strikeouts pitching just above the letters.
But his delivery alone is deceptive because he's right over the top, kind of rocks back a little bit, similar to the A's Fernando Rodriguez. Fernando will throw mid-90s and upward.
And there's his changeup at 84 miles an hour.
Well, Stephen Vogt yesterday got into one against Anibal Sanchez. I mean, this ball was crushed halfway up the lower portion of Comerica Park. That was no cheapie. Mulder said that's about as hard as I could hit a ball, and he crushed it. But now it's going to say on the road trip, it seemed the A's had a lot of home run solos. Yesterday, they had 2 3-run home runs, but at least tonight, the 2-run home run by Coco, rare in itself, but it put the A's ahead. And the Astros have a home run, which is a solo. Coco, his third. Other 2 had been solos, but this one a big tonight, driving in himself plus Chris Cobb.
There's the curve from Fires, and now it's a full count with Coghlan to follow. Well, Stephen Vogt in this at bat has seen the fastball, he's seen the changeup, he's seen the curveball, which is good. Now he knows what they all look like.
And now is the fact of, is he going to pitch to me, or am I going to get something hit? 3-2 with first base open, and Kratz and Fire's going to talk about it. Kratz might be thinking, remember, first base is open. If you shake that much, you may be shaking to some off-speed pitch. As Chris Bassett found out with Todd Frazier.
Payoff pitch is hit to shallow left. Rasmus hustling in, and it helped him there playing shallow. If he's not playing shallow, he probably does not catch that ball. But he's playing very shallow and a little closer to the line. We've seen that quite a bit tonight.
And again, I think that showed it all, Cut, because this was a slider 3-2. So all the shaking. Evidently, Fires wanted to go to this pitch, and Kratz went out to talk about it. And went to the slider. And it was up in the zone, like you said, the ability to pitch up, and it helped him there.
So 2 outs now. Coghlan will try to get Chris Davis home. Coghlan had a base hit in the second inning. It came with 2 out, nobody on. Kind of an innocent hit at the time. Then the next batter was Coco Crisp, and he homered. There's a fastball for a strike. Chris Coghlan getting pretty much all the playing time at third base with Danny Valencia out. Valencia taking batting practice today. At least I saw him around the cage.
Yeah, he's starting to come back.
Slowly, but he is expected to be back when his 15 days is up. So it will not be long before the A's get their cleanup hitter back. So that'll be nice to have Valencia back.
He's on the cover of the annual Pitt calendar.
Yeah, he is.
It says a lot, you know, when
got it in my hand.
you can make the cover on the special calendar.
I like it. It's a mean looking dog he's sitting by too. He looks good. He's got a nice smile. The dog is mean. Serious. Gomez calls off Rasmus, and he's got it. So the A's strand Davis at second. So we're going to the 5th. It's a 2-1 game. Look at that dog. That's a mean dog. there. All of a sudden, everybody likes that young man. He's got lots of friends. Friends he did not have before he went up to the concession stand.
Just think of all those dogs on the pet calendar we're here tonight. They would enjoy those as well.
I only got to April. All right, I got to finish. Looking at the rest of that calendar.
Well, it's good on April because I was concerned that giving it away tonight, which is the 29th of April,
Yeah.
who is going to don the month of April? But they just did a kind of a montage of players on the month of April.
Yeah, that's right,
celebration.
that's right.
So, well, this is what it's been for Sean Manaea tonight. 5 in the air, 3 on the ground, 3 strikeouts, and 1 caught stealing. BI's got all the numbers.
0-1 to Marwin Gonzalez, and that was ripped foul. So 0-2 the count. Somebody made a play down there. Yep, had it all the way.
Gonzalez way out in front. That was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Sometimes you think a changeup. Guys are out in front, but they're also gearing up, looking fastball and getting it.
Lays off the slider. Gonzalez hit a fly ball to right field. Kratz to follow, and then the top of the order, Altuve. And that did not hit Gonzalez. Don't know how it did hit him. Skipped out of the way.
Looked like it went between his feet, his legs, whatever, but just behind it. High leg kick, even with a couple of strikes, and patient enough and able to recognize the slider. Something that Gomez did not do last inning with a couple of runners on base.
2-2 pitch. High fastball hit foul.
Sean Manaea has to realize, I'm sure in Nashville, as he saw the bullpen of the Athletics, and thinking if he could get through 5, 6, I guess you maybe even think 7. He's a 63 pitches, but trying to get there and turn it over to a good bullpen.
Cued slowly toward Lowry, and Gonzalez is out.
Fans, take advantage of one of the best ticket deals in town with the Rapid Deal Days presented by Partible. $5 Rapid Deal Day tickets are still available for the May 3rd game. That's next Tuesday against the Mariners. Select games throughout the season. Visit athletics.com/Bart today. Get your tickets right now. Tuesday, it's coming up next week. The A's home just this weekend, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against the Mariners, then back on the road again. Trying to have a very successful homestand.
Kratz on the ground to Semien. Drops. It's got 65 pitches for Sean Manaea.
Slider off the end of the bat of Gonzalez for the easy ground out. And the first pitch fastball to Kratz for the ground out.
Number 27, Jose Altuve.
And here's the top of the order, Jose Altuve. Altuve, fly ball to right field, and then he hit into a 6-4-3 double play. That was after a leadoff walk to Kratz in the 3rd. Altuve having a very nice start to this season. Jose Altuve has become one of the better players in the American League. And still, believe it or not, he's just 25 years old.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, you can hear what happened on this one. Foul ball. Stephen Vogt and the home plate umpire, Pat Hoberg. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. This guy's wearing all that gear behind the plate. They look out for each other. Catcher Stephen Vogt, the umpire, and same for Kratz.
Good curve, steps in there first strike. Last year, Altuve hit .313 with 15 home runs. Here's the good slider. And he hits this one in the air, playable for Reddick. And that's 5 in a row retired by Sean Manaea. And another quick inning, just 11 pitches needed. Bottom of the 5th coming up, 2-1. Bottom of the 5th, time for the Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. A's and Astros strikeout leaders. Keuchel has 27 strikeouts in 32 2/3 innings. And Rich Hill, how about those numbers? 37 strikeouts in 26 innings.
You can understand why the A's want to keep him on turn. He'll pitch Sunday's game.
So Jesse Hahn tomorrow, Rich Hill on Sunday. We should also point out, Ray, that Henderson Alvarez will make his next rehab start tomorrow. And he's scheduled to throw 60 pitches in Stockton.
Yeah.
So we got to keep an eye on Henderson Alvarez, because if you figure 60 pitches, next start after that, 75. Right. Next start after that, 90. So
and if you look at, I think his clock started about middle of April, so he may be looking mid-May, because 30 days for starting pitcher. Yeah. And that's it. So 20 days for a position player, because the starter goes every 5th day.
If it's May, let's just say it's May 15th, because it's right in that area. You start tomorrow, maybe 2 after that, and then
there was talk that
close.
Maybe it'd be you, Darvish, pitching against Henderson Alvarez, because the Darvish is coming back off the Tommy John, scheduled to come back about middle of May. That's when the Rangers come here. That would be the first time the A's see them. Huh. That would be an interesting matchup if that indeed is the case. But rehab assignments are great, but for starting pitchers, it is 30 days. And once you start your first rehab assignment, the clock starts. This is what Coco did to put the A's on the board, 2-1 with a fastball. And he crushed it to right field. His 3rd of the season in the big one as he starts to remove his batting gloves.
2 pitches low. And the situation with Henderson Alvarez, I mean, there's no questions around it. He's going into the rotation.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's hopefully going to be there all year. And he's pretty good when healthy. Coco with a shot to right center, and that'll be a hit. Springer cuts it off. He's got a very good arm. So Coco with a leadoff single.
Well, the first one he hit was out because he got the ball up. This one a line drive, maybe protecting a little bit more with 2 strikes. And he's thinking too, ball headed towards the gap, but you're right about Springer, an outstanding outfielder place. He was shading towards right center. Otherwise, that's an easy double for Coco, maybe even a triple with his speed. But those are the shifts, the outfield. I mean, there is all kinds of room right down the right field line. So Springer is playing way off, almost like they go at Fenway, where they're, and even in Houston left field, where the Crawford boxes.
Coco with 4 steals. He's been thrown out once.
Alonso can pull a ball past the first baseman down to the corner. Probably would score Coco. There's all the space for Springer way over in right center.
Coco got a big jump, and it was too good of a jump. And now Fiers is going to run right at him, push him towards second base, and then he's going to tag him. As they say, Coco went out of the baseline to avoid the tag. So Coco was thinking, I'm going to get a good jump here, and he just took off a little bit too early, and Fiers did the right thing. He stepped off and then ran right at him. So that's the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. Alonso will pop up.
The way Chris was looking at Fiers, as if he thought he looked over once, and instead of going to the plate, he looked again.
It was that. It was different than what Coco was expecting. And he thought he had it read.
Yeah, good base stealers will notice tendencies of pitchers, and we have seen guys take off and walk to second with the pitcher thrown to the plate, but Fiers did hesitate. Oh, wouldn't you know it?
Alonso drops one down that right field line. Springer will get there and he'll fire it back in. So Alonso with a hit. That's hit number 6 now for the A's.
Well, they're setting up inside. The pitch comes in with a breaking ball, not much on the slider, and Alonso hooked it not all the way in the corner. Springer with his speed got to it. Wasn't really hit hard enough to get down to the corner, but good base hit for Alonso.
And now Marcus Semien will hit. And the first pitch is low. Talked in the open about the struggles of these Astros starting pitchers. It sounds like they really missed the youngster Lance McCullers.
Yeah.
He's battling a bit of a sore shoulder. He is expected to be back at least sometime this month. He's pitching down in Florida right now. But he was pretty good last year. In fact, he made his major league debut against the Athletics. Hard throwing young right-hander. He's got a chance to be really, really good. So they miss him.
Yes,
they need
do.
him back.
And he pitched well against the A's in his debut.
Signed Doug Fister. He has not been great. Scott Feldman, the veteran, final year of his contract, he has not pitched well. In fact, he was supposed to pitch tomorrow, but he's now in the bullpen.
Yeah. There's Doug Fister right in front of Raymond, our favorite.
Strike on a very delayed call by Pat Holbrook.
Not only delayed, it looked like a bad pitch. Kratz outside with a slider, stays down, and I mean, watch Kratz bring it up. And say it looked like Holbrook watched him bring it up into the strike zone. You got to call it when it crosses the plate, not when a catcher brings it up in the strike zone.
Curve tap slowly to short. Out at second, the throw to first. Not in time. So Semien is now on with the fielder's choice. 2 away for Burns.
Now batting center fielder, number 1, Billy Burns.
And you wonder, Ray, that we see this so often. Curveball inside, called a strike, close pitch, may have been in a little bit. And that pitch that Marcus Semien just hit was the same thing. It was a curveball in,
Right.
and then you feel like you have to swing at it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes a called pitch will force the following pitch or pitches that you have to swing. But Cap, I think what's interesting, I know one theory of catching it was with the palm up, because you're bringing the ball up. The catchers now are taught to catch the ball and then bring it up, so the umpire is seeing the back of the catcher's mitt. And I think in the case of that one, when it came up, he saw it in the strike zone, but it was clearly, when it crossed the plate, it was out of the strike zone. I mean, give Kratz credit for being able to bring the ball up into the zone.
So what you're saying is, if they turn their glove palm down, which that's probably an easier way to catch it.
Palm
but
up. Yeah, palm up.
Palm up. I'm
Right.
sorry, palm up.
You're getting under the ball.
Yeah, but then the umpire is seeing that as well and saying, well,
Right.
the pitch must be low.
Well, and then they also say you're cheating, because they say you're trying to bring it to the strike zone, but what the guys are actually doing is catching it with the palm down and coming
then
up.
lifting up. Yeah.
And you know, you should call it not where the catcher catches it or ends up with the ball in the strike. They're all going to bring it into the strike zone, but the umpires typically will call it when it crosses the plate, which they should. And in the case of that one, it was a ball. It was low. It should have been 3-1 instead of 2-2.
0-1 to Burns, who has singled and he has grounded out. Quick throw at first.
Yeah, really not a bad time for Semien to attempt to steal, although Kratz has already proven he's got a very strong arm. But in a close game, you look for little things to try to help you. And this outfield, this may go down as the outfield playing more shallow than anybody. We've seen,
Well, at least in left field on an every hitter basis.
every left-handed hitter for sure. Exactly.
And the A's have Chris Davis right-handed, Marcus Semien right-handed. That's it. Everybody else is left-handed. Slapped foul and it got Walsh. Paparesta's going to check on Walsh, and he hit him square. Well, let's hope he's okay.
Right knee.
Ray, that's why you don't stand halfway toward home plate.
Yeah, you're right.
And Walsh always stays pretty close to the coaching box.
Yeah, what we were talking about is Dave Clark. The
Oh,
Tigers
God.
coming halfway down with his back to the hitter.
Not necessary.
Walsh is always going to have a smile, but Billy Burns swinging late, and Ron Washington got it. You know, and Billy Burns went down and talked to his third base coach. Happy birthday, Wash.
Oh,
If you
man.
can get a present like that every time, you won't want to have birthdays anymore.
Knowing Wash, he will not accept an ice pack.
No, I was going to say.
Don't you dare put that
Yeah,
on my
right.
leg. I'm fine. Blocked nicely. Trying for second is Semien, and he's in there. Semien just took off. Got a good read.
Well, that's a heads up. In the dirt, it's so difficult for a catcher. Block the ball first and foremost, but then you look up and you say, he's running now, I have to scramble. And Kratz did a good job. And then a strong throw, but because of the secondary lead by Semien, taken off. And once he saw the ball take in the dirt, throw it to the shortstop side. And Correa having to reach and then reach back, but Semien already there. Very aggressive base running. You'd love to see that. His foot on the bag, kept his foot on the bag, and Kratz thought he got him, but he didn't.
One and two to Burns. And Burns swings and misses. Foul tip, side retired. So Semien is stranded at second base. We're on to the sixth. It's 2-1 A's lead. Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by T-Mobile. Get Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. Beautiful night in the Bay Area. And the A's leading the Astros 2-1, top of the 6th inning. High above the Coliseum. And Sean Manaea in his Major League debut has been terrific so far. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and about to throw pitch number 71.
And one thing that's interesting, and Stephen Vogt probably the best that I've ever seen. And as a catcher, when your pitcher gets in a nice groove, Manaea's not shaking. See some of the relievers getting ready, but Manaea shakes his head because Stephen Vogt is telling him to. He did it before the Altuve curveball, and Vogt, in other words, just to try to get the hitter to think a little bit, he'll ask Manaea to shake his head. And as a hitter, you start thinking, and well, what's he shaking off? But it's all because Stephen Vogt is doing it.
So there's a sign for the shake.
Just do it. I mean, and that's, see if Stephen Vogt, I mean, there are times he can just go straight to the sign, and other times, and you watch Manaea, he's going to get the sign and throw it.
And hit Springer right in the back.
Just overthrew it.
Yeah.
Well, just tried to go inside with a fastball and overthrew it and got him. And they're actually the left elbow guard, the protection on the left elbow.
Now batting, number 1, Carlos Correa.
All right, here's our cold hard facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Most home runs by a rookie in Astros history. Correa hit 22 last year. Berkman, Springer, Davis, Hunter Pence. Good swing there by Carlos Correa. This young man, hard to believe. He's 21 years old. He will not be 22 until September. Won the American League Rookie of the Year last year, and he played in just 99 games. 279, 22 homers, 68 RBIs.
And really, Gold Glove shortstop.
Yep.
He's going to win some Gold Gloves.
First overall pick in the 2012 draft.
In Puerto Rico, of course, this offseason, he was doing some, I think, of Roberto Clemente. He's doing some filming. So he's a very popular person in Puerto Rico, of course, and in Houston as well.
How about this, Ray? So he was the first overall pick, and Astros had a stretch of #1 picks. Well, the year before that, Astros kind of had a decision to make, and they took Mark Appel, the right-hander.
Right. Yeah.
Second pick, Chris Bryant. Cubs said, "Thank you. We're going to take Chris Bryant." And hey, you don't know, right?
You never know.
Stud pitcher from Stanford, Mark Appel.
And usually drafts, you're going to get pitchers when you can. And it's Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, he's kind of, well, actually, this guy and Bryant, the rookies of the year in
That's right.
Major League Baseball last year.
Nice block by Vogt.
Yep.
Springer thought about going.
See the difference there. Vogt kept the ball in front of him. Kratz had the ball bounce around in front of the plate. Plus, nobody out here where there was 2 outs before when Semien went. So, pouncing on it quickly. A nice block by Stephen Vogt. And yes, before the game, down in the bullpen, Marcus Jensen working with the catchers and blocking balls in the dirt. So it pays off in the game, and these guys are working down in the bullpen even when they're catching. Marcus Jensen keeps them busy.
2-2 pitch. Foul just to our right.
George Springer's name was on that list of home runs for rookies, but remember when he started, he didn't hit one for like 2 months to start the season. He could barely make contact, and
he was swinging it just a little bit too hard.
He's swinging it hard and swinging at everything. His bullpen starting to get loose, move around a little bit.
Springer he's tightened everything up.
Yes, he has. He's a good player. Definitely a great defensive player.
Fastball inside and fights that one off. Does Correa. Good young nucleus for the Astros with Altuve, who's got a long-term contract. He's not going anywhere. That's Springer, Correa. Springer was a #1 draft pick as well. Full count. See if Springer takes off. Sean Doolittle starting to throw as Manaea now at 80 pitches. His pitch counts in the 3 starts in Nashville: 89, 93, 97. And he missed outside. So a hit batter and a walk, and Manaea is in some trouble here in the 6th.
And Springer wasn't running. Interesting.
So he has now walked 4, struck out 3.
Now batting, number 11, Evan Gattis.
So Kurt's on the clock. I love saying that. I don't know why, I just do.
But it's football, man. Did the draft yesterday?
Yeah, today, tomorrow.
Oh, I don't know.
Stretch that out. So Dull gets up.
He's ready.
Yeah. Just
David, check out
trying
the
to
catcher.
get it loose.
Scott Emerson, the catcher. Josh Fegley, where are you? There goes Feg. He's heading down now. Scott Emerson, left-hander with a left-handed catcher's mitt. And saying, please hurry, Fegs.
Yeah, Dull would not be the guy you'd want to
No.
catch. So here's Evan Gattis, a home run and a strikeout.
Gattis is, Chris Carter is what, with the Brewers now?
Yeah.
But Chris Carter and Gattis, contact, look out. Last time he struck out, first time, home run.
Fastball right at the knees for a strike. That home run by Gattis in the 2nd inning was his first of the year. Springer and Correa, lots of speed on the bases. One is outside.
Fastball in the 1st inning, first at bat by Gattis, and swung on, gone, and came in towards the inner half of the plate, way above the out-of-town scoreboard.
Missed again. Slider. So 2-1 the count.
Just not finishing his pitches and kind of guiding it to the outside part of the plate, which a lot of accomplished major league pitchers will do.
And Gattis helped him out. 2-2. That ball was up and away.
Well, Gattis tries to hold up on the fastball that's up and out of the strike zone, but cannot. And I guess when you have no stride and you're that strong, you feel you can reach anything, and the ball just ran away. It's supposed to be inside, but it was up and away.
So Gattis steps back in, 2-2 the count. Colby Rasmus, left-handed hitter, waits in the on-deck circle. Foul back. He went with a fastball away again. 93 miles an hour.
One thing that Manaea is eventually going to do, and he's going to perfect the slider down and in. It's going to be a very, very difficult pitch for right-handed hitters. But when he throws it, he has to throw it hard and make it look like a strike and have it end up maybe in the dirt or out of the strike zone.
Bounced in the hole and into left field. Springer can run. Here comes Coco. He juggles it a little bit and then no throw. So Gattis comes through with a hit, and this game is tied at 2.
And Bob Melvin, I think he was hoping to get Gattis out and then go to the pen for Rasmus, but instead it's a base hit. Stayed down with the fastball, and you see the difference. He was susceptible to the high fastball, got it down on his own, hit it on the ground, and not surprising that Springer scored easily.
So a standing ovation for Sean Manaea in his major league debut.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Well, we now have a tie game, 2-2 A's Astros. So Sean Manaea 5+ innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a couple of runners on that are his responsibility. So the young man pitched well. He'll probably be a little bit disappointed in the 6th inning, hitting Springer to start the inning. You can see the talent that's there.
Yeah, especially with 2 strikes, the 1-2 fastball just got away from him. Definitely talented. So one Sean leaves, another Sean comes in.
And this would be Doolittle. First pitch is inside to Colby Rasmus. Lefty on lefty. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So appearance number 13 for Sean Doolittle. So this is game number 24 for the A's. So he's been busy. Shallow left, Coco hustling in, and Coco will get there.
And decision time for the skipper. And you think with the righties coming up, the only lefty in the lineup was, of course, they'd have the switch hitters, but Ryan Doe ready.
Now batting, number 13.
So they're going to stay with Doolittle,
White.
and he'll face Tyler White.
By the way, Ron Washington's still down by the dugout and the runway. He did not get any ice.
That will not happen.
And he probably told Marcus Semien, he says, don't think you're going to get out of working out tomorrow early before the game. We'll be out here. I'll be here. Ready to go.
Strike inside corner to Tyler White. He thought it was inside by his reaction to the pitch, but it was called a strike. White has lined out and fouled out.
The velocity of Sean Doolittle has been very impressive for the staff to see him get the fastball back. And granted, he's got the slider and the split changeup, but he's still a rare back throw hard fastball, which is outstanding.
Tyler White looks a little bit like Evan Gattis.
He does, yeah.
Of course, he's got batting gloves. Gattis does not. But if you watch the stance, kind of hunched over, open stance, they look a little bit alike, and their batting stance looks like, and they're built the same way.
And when Gattis puts on the catching gear, gets back there, who knows what he's going to look like.
Like to go hunting with.
Yeah. With a switch.
Gattis, Tyler White, maybe Bumgarner, take him along just to make sure there's no problems with any of the animals. It'd be great, just walking through the woods with those 3 guys.
Or if you want a lumberjack, chop some wood. Evan's your man.
Get some stuff done outside. Two and two.
Now, right before that pitch was thrown, Stephen Vogt raised up. He wanted a high fastball. And
that one not where Doolittle wanted it. In fact, Doolittle showing a little emotion. He was not happy with his location. Ended up being, location-wise at least, a pretty hittable pitch for Tyler White.
And I think the velocity that he has back, I think that changes things. And you know, last year when he was coming back and missed most of the season, his velocity was not nearly where it is now. So you can afford to miss a location, and because of the heater, he can get away with it.
Wants the high fastball, and that one was up a little bit more than the pitch before that. But maybe even you want it even a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So it's just the 6th inning, but it has the feel of the 8th inning. 2-2 game. There's the elevated fastball. So good battle here. Doolittle and White with the go-ahead run at second base.
Now this one was upstairs a little bit more, but White doing a good job fouling off the tough pitches, and you have to be concerned because Doolittle tried to throw him one changeup that missed and is out of the strike zone.
Reach for that one is went to the off-speed pitch.
And they just, Stephen Vogt ran the baseball out to Doolittle. Doolittle just told him wanting to throw, and see if Stephen Vogt just doesn't give a sign, just shakes his head, say, okay, let's go. They know what's going to be thrown. The infielders don't. They're playing straight up, so it might not matter.
2-2 pitch. Here it is. Another slider. Full count. So this will be the 10th pitch coming to Tyler White. Runners with their leads. They are not going anywhere, and that one is fouled just below us. New life for that man, Mike Fiers. This game is tied at 2.
Well, you'd have to think White is going to be sitting fastball and thinking that's all he's going to get from Sean Doolittle. That's why slider, he might get aggressively and swing over a good slider that looks close anyway. Otherwise, he's just going to stay with the heater.
And there's a base hit left field. Here comes Correa. He just hits the bag at third. The throw to the plate by Coco is late, and the Astros take a 3-2 lead. So Tyler White comes through with a clutch hit here in the 6th.
11 pitch at bat. He gets the base hit on the ground. Of course, with runners at first and second, that allows the runner from second to take off on contact. And
now batting,
Gary Pettis is not going to stop anybody.
Carlos Gomez.
Balls are finding that 5.5 hole.
Now Gomez, the on-deck hitter, is telling him slide to the left.
Hey, that's what he's supposed to do.
On-deck hitter is supposed to do that exactly.
Here is Gomez. Still only one out. Outside with a fastball. Gomez has a base hit and a strikeout so far tonight. All started with a hit batter. Swing and a miss. It's gone hit batter, walk, single, fly out, single for the 2 runs so far by Houston. There's the high heater, 94 miles an hour. Get Gomez to chase up there.
Yeah. White would not. I mean, he chased, but kept fouling off those tough pitches. The fastball's up.
Another one at 95, fouled on the right field line.
And in this inning, the A's have done something Sean Doolittle have very rarely done. Inherited runner score. And Manaea gave up a base hit to Gaddis to plate the 1 run, but after a pop up by Rasmus, White comes through.
But Toure and that Tyler White at bat, which was a heck of an at bat. The 2-2 pitch is a slider.
Yeah.
Misses badly.
Yeah.
Well, the 3-2 pitch, then White completely eliminates a slider, right?
Exactly.
He's not
Absolutely.
thinking he's going to get one of those.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad pitch by Doolittle. That's just if you don't get it close to the strike zone,
Well, and Doolittle's success is going to eventually be that he backs up the sliders. When he throws one, he throws another one, because if not, hitters are going to sit fastball. You're right, and that is just something that's kind of automatic, especially against a pitcher that throws as hard as Sean.
Another foul ball. Boy, the Astros are making life difficult on Doolittle. They are just fouling off the fastball. And now he's thrown 20 pitches.
Correa had a 3-2 count. Springer didn't run. White and now Gomez 3-2 counts. So the runners have not been moving, which again for an Astros club that is pretty aggressive, I'm a little surprised they have not been running, and maybe trying to think about not getting a strikeout, throw them out, or maybe the numbers of the release by Doolittle, the quickness by Stephen Vogt. They're saying let's not run into an out.
Runner's not going, and it's a swing and a miss. Gomez strikes out for the second time.
That's the upstairs fastball, and this is one that's almost unhittable. We've seen it throughout Sean Doolittle's career.
Now batting, number 9, Marwin
And it was
Gonzalez.
just a little up. So 2 outs for Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a fly ball to right field and a ground out. Able to check his swing. So 2 runs in for the Astros here in the top of the 6th inning. Maybe the inning's too long for Mike Fiers.
Let's hope so.
Sit there for a while. He's happy to sit there with his team getting some runs. We got a 23-minute half inning, we're being told. Inside corner strike. Dull is still down there. He's just been waiting.
41 pitches rack up your time.
Their fastball in under the hands of Gonzalez. Fouled that off some part of his body.
Good location. Not often you see a hitter hit his back leg with a foul ball, but Gonzalez did.
Pitch number 25 coming up from Doolittle, and here it is. And that one is driven right center, and that's nothing but trouble. And it bounces up and over the wall, and that helps the A's a little bit anyways. Gaddis scores, but White is going to have to stay at third. That is a booming double. So Marwin Gonzalez got a fastball up and well out of the strike zone.
Well, you're right. By it being hit so hard, it did bounce over the fence. Otherwise, White could have scored easily. Warning track and then over the Xfinity sign, and that's it.
So tough outing for Doolittle, and Dull coming in.
Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
So Ryan Dull comes in. He's facing the catcher Erik Kratz, and this becomes a huge at bat in this game. It's 4-2. Runners are on second and third. 2 outs. So Dull, no record, 2.13 ERA, 12 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings. Mike Fiers says that inning is getting long. I'm going to go warm up, which he is allowed to do. Kratz tonight has hit a fly ball to right field. Take that back. I was looking at the wrong guy. Kratz has walked and grounded to short. White at third, Gonzalez at second, and a breaking ball for a strike.
High slider and got the call from the home plate umpire Pat Holberg with the high slider. So good fastball, runs away, and he's got the slider. Trying to get a big out.
White came down the line just a little bit.
And there's your chase slider that Stephen Vogt went out and got, blocked it nicely, and Doug hardly came off the mound. Coming down the line was White, but he was going to go back thanks to the good block by Stephen Vogt. As they say, the critical pitch is now. 2-2. You got Altuve in the on-deck circle. First base is open, but this is the guy that Ryan Dull wants to retire.
And he does on a high fastball. But damage done by the Astros. They scored 3 runs on 3 hits, a walk and a hit batter, and the Astros now lead 4-2. That's Jerry Goff. Played in the major leagues for 6 years, Expos, Pirates, and time with the Houston Astros. Jerry Goff is his name. Does that name sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
Jerry Goff. He could hit. And his son
Better.
can hum it pretty good because he is the #1 draft pick in this year's 2016 NFL Draft. Jared Goff from Cal, the Los Angeles Rams. Took him #1. So congratulations to Bay Area native Jared Goff. Went to Marin Catholic, went to Cal. So that's an exciting time for the Goff family.
Think Bob Melvin's happy?
Shoot, yeah. I hope the young man does well down in Los Angeles.
Melvin, a very big supporter of Cal sports, and I'm sure he is very well aware of that. Right now, he's thinking about being down 2 runs to the Astros.
Lowry, Reddick, and Davis here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jed Lowry with a ground out to first and a pop out to third. 1-1 pitch. Kind of a half swing by Lowry, and the count 1-2. Rangers beat the Angels tonight 4-2 down in Arlington. Colby Lewis beat Hector Santiago.
I mean, he beat somebody other than the A's, huh?
That's true. So the Rangers have won 3 in a row. They're now 13-10 on the year. A little bit inside. Tollison got his 8th save in that one. The Mariners are leading the Royals 1-0 in the 7th inning in Seattle. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Strikeout number 4 for Fives.
That was a changeup, kind of floated towards the inside corner, according to Pat Holberg, and Jed Lowry didn't like it.
Now batting right fielder.
Fred's reaching back right over the inside corner, looking was the home plate umpire.
1 out for Reddick. The pitching matchup up in Seattle. Medlin started for the Royals and Felix Hernandez for Seattle. Orioles slowed down the Red Hot White Sox earlier today. In Baltimore, the Orioles 6, the White Sox 3. Shouldn't sleep on Baltimore either. They are now 14-8, and they're 9-1 at home. We'll see them soon. Reddick, a shot toward the gap. Gomez cannot cut it off, but he'll pick it up near the wall, and Reddick has an opposite field double. Nice job of hitting by Reddick.
It was outstanding. I'm just totally amazed to see the shifts and Josh Reddick getting fastballs away, and Josh Reddick says thank you very much. High fastball just goes with it perfectly. He's going to hit 20 for 25 home runs, but what he's going to do with the outside fastballs, just unbelievable. Look how they're playing. I mean, that's going to be over the shortstop, but hit hard enough it goes to the wall, and they were shading him towards right field and on the right side anyway.
So that'll bring up Chris Davis. Shift is on for Davis. Altuve playing right near second base, actually trying to keep Reddick close. Chris Davis missed that high fastball. Davis had a double in the 4th. Also popped out to first back in the 2nd inning. Let's go Oakland chants ringing around the stadium. In the air toward right center. Springer has it. Reddick to tag, and Reddick will head to third. Now 2 outs.
To show the power of Chris Davis, even that looked like it's going to be a routine fly ball, and all of a sudden it's carrying almost to the warning track. He has a lot of power.
Now batting the catcher, number 21, Stephen Vogt.
So it'll be up to Vogt to try to get Reddick home. Vogt has hit a pair of fly balls to left field. Curve, and it's a good one. Big overhand curve from Fiers. He will flip that pitch in there every once in a while. Nice to get a first strike with it.
And you're seeing a lot of slow curveballs from him, not the real hard one. The one he did throw that Burns or Semien, that first Kratz had to block. Changed the eyesight, went upstairs with a fastball.
Big part of pitching, isn't it? Changing the eyesight.
Yeah, it really makes a huge difference if you can do it.
If you can do it,
yeah. And Fiers, as you mentioned earlier about the ability to pitch up in the strike zone and sometimes out of the strike zone is beneficial to him.
And the fastball is high, 91 miles an hour.
I wonder if Fiers is left-handed. He does all the coloring on his right arm.
Or he could have somebody do it for him.
See, his left arm's clear. Right arm is fully.
Curve, got him looking inside corner. So 5 strikeouts for Fiers. A's Strand Reddick at third, and we're moving to the 7th. Astros 4, A's 2. Rock out with your very own Sean Doolittle Metallica Gnome with sound, presented by Ross. 50,000 fans are going to receive this one-of-a-kind giveaway that actually plays the A's Closers walkout song. Get your tickets soon at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL. So that's tomorrow. That's a giveaway, and there will be a big line.
Should be. Stephen Vogt still in the game?
He was not happy.
He didn't like the call.
So that'll be tomorrow, 1:05. First pitch for game 2 of this series. Interesting pitching matchup. As we said, Jesse Hahn will be called up from the minor leagues to pitch.
Now here's the curveball, and Pat Holberg liked it. Stephen Vogt didn't. Fiers is heading to the dugout as Holberg made the call. And Stephen Vogt had a few choice words.
Alonso may have a play. And he does. Nicely done. He really hustled over and timed his slide perfectly and made a nice play.
And there's a lot of times the guy goes to the slide, he misses the ball, but it's like this was planned all the way. Slide, look at the concentration, the ball in the glove, and
Number 4.
probably said hello to the
George
fans as they approached
Springer.
the side. That is a great play. You do not see that often, especially with all this foul territory. You can place him first, as we have seen a lot of under Alonso.
Here's Springer. Springer takes a strike. Single, ground out, and then hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 6th. That's when the Astros scored 3 times. Sharp slider, 0-2.
Well, one thing Ryan Dull has done since last September, Bob Melvin has really been happy with his work. And that is coming in with runners on base, as he did last inning. That was huge to have runners at second and third, and thanks to ground rule double, kept White at third instead of scoring. And Rondell able to get out of the inning with a big strikeout. Kratz.
Springer slowly hit up the first base line. Dahl shovels it with his glove. 2 outs.
Kid can do it all. 2 very good defensive plays already in this inning. And the hustle over, and with the glove, flip glove to Alonso.
Carlos Correa.
See him open up the glove, kind of fan it out, catch it in the pocket, and then flip it without having the ball going to the webbing of his glove. Goes to the webbing. Not able to flip it as easily as he did with it in his pocket. Excellent play. Alonso going after the ball, then realizing Dahl was going to handle it and got over quickly.
2 outs for Carlos Correa. First pitch strike. Subjinski and Triggs. 0-1 to Correa, who is 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Scored a run in the 6th.
Hitters are not seeing Dahl's slider. Springer swung at a couple, not even close, and Correa swung at one in the dirt. His slider in the dirt, but it looks so good at that point and then disappears.
Took that one. Good 0-2 pitch by Dahl. Seven hits for the Athletics, 6 hits for Houston. 1 error in the game was made by the A's. Fastball outside. Astros will send Chris Devenski to the mound tomorrow. He's going to come out of the bullpen. He's been a reliever, and he's been really good out of the bullpen, but they're going to give him a start tomorrow. He's a right-handed thrower. So Devenski and Hahn.
It's like Correa swings wildly until he gets to 2 strikes, and the same pitches he was swinging at he has taken to run the count full. 1 fastball missed, 2 sliders he took.
Three-two pitch, a fastball in and hit the bat of Correa, so it's a foul ball.
And he's leaning out thinking slider, the ball came in, and well, got Stephen Vogt. Geez, what a shock.
Hit high and foul. Dahl went at him with a fastball that time. Astros bullpen is quiet. The Fires will head out there for the bottom of the 7th inning. Right down the middle, had to be looking for something else. So good inning for Dahl. He's retired all 4 hitters that he has faced. 7th inning stretch coming up. Astros lead 4-2. Hey, Know It All with Sportsnet Central, brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight, 10:30, and it's on CSN Bay Area. We'll have all the highlights from Sharks' first-round matchup against the Nashville Predators. 49ers are first-round picks. They got 2 in the first round. They'll meet the media, and the Warriors are getting ready for their round 2 matchup. Not sure who they're going to play just yet. Fallon Smith, Dave Feldman will host. Bottom of the 7th. Fires back to work. And that was pitch number 89, and it's a strike to Chris Coghlan. 5 strikeouts. Fires has not walked anybody. And there's that big curve, which just looks like he's starting to use that more.
And that's the reason the bullpen's quiet, or had been before right now, but that's all arms and legs, and flips the curveball after the changeup, and he's got the hitter swinging at his motion really instead of the actual pitch. Not surprised. That's something that hitters will do. It's another curveball.
Got a piece of Coghlan. Pat Neshek starts to throw. With Scott Feldman down in the bullpen, the starter is not pitching tomorrow. There's 8 relievers down there, but only 1 left-hander for Houston. So something to
Tony Sipp. That's it. Tony Sipp can get righties out and lefties.
So after Coghlan, it'll be Crisp and then Alonso. Bottom of the 7th inning. Still 1-0 Mariners, leading the Royals in the 8th inning behind Felix Hernandez. Oh, 2 pitch, fastball, foul back. Blue Jays beat the Rays 6-1 in St. Petersburg. Michael Saunders hit a couple of home runs. Donaldson hit a home run, his 8th of the year. And the Blue Jays had a little 3-game losing streak. They snapped that tonight. Sanchez over Smiley. Curve hit on the ground right to Altuve. 1 out.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. You know, if Neshek comes in, it's not going to be any easier for the hitters because he's kind of funky himself. You know, from the right side down under, and Fires has just baffled the A's hitters. Chris for the 2-run home run, and that's the extent of it. Mark Zaczynski, and it's getting loose. Ryan does a great job.
Fastball at 90 miles an hour. The wind has really picked up here at the Coliseum. It's become very breezy.
It's coming right in the booth.
Yes, it is.
Can't close the windows here.
No. And even if we could, we wouldn't.
That's right.
We've done it once in our 13 years together, Ray. It was 33 degrees in Cleveland.
Oh, you remember when it was snowing.
And it was snowing. There is no glass in front of us. That was back in 2008. We were nice and cozy.
It's weird, but it's cozy.
It was weird, yeah. Yes, it does not feel right to shut the windows and then try to announce the baseball.
Well, Wednesday night, he said, close the windows halfway in Detroit. It makes it better. It was like a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Close it, and all the wind just started. I said, raise it. Or
2-2 to Coco Crisp, a homer and a single tonight. Curveball hit in the air toward right center. It's going to hang up though. Carlos Gomez is over there.
The Fires tonight has proven one thing. Deception is everything in pitching. You don't have to throw 100 miles an hour, 95. He doesn't top out any higher than 90. What he's done with his curveball, which has gotten better as the game progressed. The changeup. Every once in a while, a sneaky fastball. Been tough for the A's to handle. There's your numbers on the left as far as what he has done.
A little bit of everything, huh? Look at that. Cut fastball at 86, but that curve at 74 in the last 2 innings.
Yeah.
It's been his go-to pitch. Big overhand curve.
Cutter that didn't quite catch the plate.
Axford now gets up and joins Simczynski. Alonso, a strikeout and a single. Kratz coming over, and it's top of the middle. Red Sox beat the Yankees tonight 4-2 at Fenway. Alex Rodriguez hit a home run in a losing effort. 691 now in his career. David Ortiz hit a home run. He had 507 career home runs, but the Red Sox beat the Yankees 4-2.
Got almost 1,200 home runs with those two guys. The 2 DHs tonight.
2-1 pitch. Way out in front of it is Alonso. Tigers beat the Twins 9-2. Tigers had 18 hits. Watch this play. Stayed with it. Stayed with it. No glove. Sore hand. Gomez back. Still going back. Now turns around and he's got it. Side retired. 5 in a row retired by Mike Fiers, so he is rolling along. 4-2 Astros after 7.
Everyone's favorite mascot, Stomper, with your very own Elephant Socks, presented by Black Bear Diner. A second Little League Day game this Sunday. You can be one of 15,000 fans to receive a pair of Elephant Socks. For tickets and more information, visit athletics.com/promotions. Call 877-493-BALL. I figured out that Stomper is feeling very good about himself because as he entered on the warning track like he always does, he had the 3 big heads with him today. The 3 Hall of Famer big heads.
So he was trying to be a Hall of Famer today?
Yeah, he was having them kind of tag along behind him, which I thought was rather unimpressive. I mean, impressive.
He's not a big head.
No,
he doesn't even have a big head.
No. Got him. Big schnoz, but
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog expert. So Mark Zipchinski, there he is. Feeling good today. Homestand, baby. 6-gamer.
I just want to see him in his own elephant socks.
Gaddis Rasmus White. Andrew Triggs gets back up. He was up last inning. That's Ken Giles, one of the big off-season acquisitions by the Astros. 3-1. So good outing by Dahl, an inning and a third, no hits, no runs, and 2 strikeouts. So Ryan Dahl continues to throw the ball well. Full count. Zipchinski last pitched, it's like Wednesday in Detroit. Couple of innings, gave up a run. And a 3-2 downer. Pitch had good movement. So Gaddis strikes out for the 2nd time, but he's also done some damage tonight.
Well, a home run, another RBI single with this off-speed pitch out in front. No stride by the big man, and he's upset as he ended up swinging at a pitch out of the strike zone, and he didn't like it. Ryan Dahl came in the 6th, got a big out, leaving 2 runners, then retired the side in order for Bob Melvin to bring the lefty in. He starts him against a righty, knowing that his main guy is this guy, the lefty, the only lefty in the lineup for the Astros. True lefty anyway.
Slider misses. 1-1 to Rasmus, who has lined the left, walked, and then hit a fly ball to left. Rasmus waves at that pitch in the dirt.
That's a hitter saying, I'm going to get a fastball, I'm going to swing regardless. Unfortunately, it was a breaking ball. Rasmus swinging at a pitch, but he was thinking dead red fastball, and with the home runs that he has already this season, 7. A lot of times it's guessing and guessing correctly.
And he missed it again. Swinging a pitch in the dirt. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zipchinski.
Now this is a case of watching the hitter. He's telling you, and Stephen Vogt, between Vogt and Zipchinski, watching the swing by Rasmus, he definitely is looking fastball, and why not throw him another slider to the dirt, which they did, and got a big strikeout.
So with 2 outs, Tyler White steps in. 4th at bat for White. He had a big hit in the 6th, RBI single. That was off Doolittle. He was the 2nd hitter that Doolittle faced when he came in. Interesting. Tyler White was a 33rd round draft pick in 2013.
Well, this year's inductee of the Hall of Fame, Mike Piazza, was 50 some odd. I mean, that was as a favor almost. Going to Cooperstown this year, so no favors needed there.
Yeah, White last year 59 games in AA, 57 games in AAA. And just looking at his minor league numbers, he's always hit for a high average. Not a huge amount of power. But last year 14 home runs total between AA and AAA. Big league first baseman now. Simeon's throw across the diamond is good, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Zipchinski. Couple more shots for the A's. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Big trail 4-2. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 4-6-0 for Houston. 2-7-1 for the Athletics. The Major League debut of Sean Manaea. He went 5+ innings through 87 pitches. Gives up 4 earned runs. Coco with a 2-run homer. It was the 3-run inning for the Houston Astros. It was in the 6th inning. That's the difference in the game right now. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and small experts. Here's Ken Giles. Hard-throwing right-hander, 96 miles an hour. And the count is quickly 0-2 to Marcus Semien.
Not much different than Fizer just saw, because he throws the fastball mid-upper 90s and a slider. Basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Came over with the expectations of being the closer for the Astros, but he is more of a setup with Luke Gregerson, former Athletic, as their closer.
Well, I think the Astros probably got him to be their closer, but he didn't pitch good in spring training. And Gregerson said, well, wait a minute. What about me? I saved 31 games last year.
Right.
And so Gregerson was named the closer. Giles is still trying to kind of figure it all out. Could very well see Gregerson tonight. Curveball. Giles, he will be a good addition to the Astros bullpen. He's only 25 years old. Last year he had 15 saves. He took over the closer's job for the Phillies during the season. But he had 87 strikeouts in 70 innings. Fastball just a bit outside.
Through the one breaking ball, you would have to think, if he's a 2-pitch pitcher, you're going to get the fastball 3-2. It's not like it's a 90-mile-an-hour. It's more 95, 96. There's a breaking ball is going to fool everybody, but in fact, I figure it's a straight one.
That one blasted down the left field line, and it is gone. Home run number 6 for Marcus Semien, and now it's a 1-run game.
He hit it so hard it would not hook foul, but he did throw the fastball. Marcus Semien, a similar swing that he put on a 3-0 fastball on the road to drive in a run. Great swing on this fastball and stay fair. It did. It's a great shot, guys. Tremendous shot, and way deep in left field.
So most home runs by shortstops this year. Semien second to Trevor Story. So there's Sip.
Well, Sip for Reddick probably, because Lowry the switch hitter is next, but Marcus Semien crushed it.
And that one is slapped to left field, and that's fair. Billy Burns, the tying run, is aboard here in the 8th.
That ball almost scooted past Rasmus, who was playing very shallow. And if it had gotten past him with his momentum coming in down in the corner, who knows where Billy Burns would have ended up. Slider slapped it. And watch this ball take a funny hop on Rasmus, who was playing shallow, couldn't get to it. But right there it takes off, and he had to reach for it and got the big glove after. Watch there. That's a checkup right there. That ball just almost got down the line. That might have been an inside the park. He might have been running forever on that, but he got to it. Brett Strom, the pitching coach, much different year for him.
So Neshek back up, a righty and a lefty.
You know what's good about the ball hit by Billy Burns? It was a high slider, and he's able to get on top of the ball to hit a line drive.
So here is Lowry, nobody out, and the speedy Burns, the tying run at first.
Get the patented ground ball to shortstop and get a base hit.
First pitch is a bit low.
RBI situations Jed Lowry has gone to the shortstop side right where it is completely wide open. He's driven in 3 runs that direction. This would be the perfect time so Billy Burns could walk to third if a ball is hit there.
Burns runs, pitches a ball, and the throw into center field. And Burns is going to try for third, and Gomez dropped it. Burns turns around. He'll stop at third. And now Burns, the tying run at third base, nobody out. A terrible throw by Kratz. You could see it right when he let go of it.
The best part about this stolen base is the fact that Billy Burns was thrown out in the first inning. He took the shot, bad throw, gets up with a great arm by really the center fielder Gomez. He went to third anyway. This fastball low. Kratz just overthrew it hurriedly, and no chance for Correa to get to it. But backing up was Gomez. He did bobble it fortunately, and even more fortunate that Ron Washington did not send Billy Burns. He'd have been out by plenty.
2-0 pitch. Right field. Springer back, still going back toward the corner. He's got it. Plenty deep for Burns to trot home, and we got ourselves a new ball game, tied at 4.
Somehow Jed Lowry finds a way to get it done, and he does it again. And A.J. Hinch is going to another reliever, which would be his lefty Tony Sipp for Josh Reddick. And Ken Giles just had a blown save, and the A's couldn't be happier.
So we'll be back. 4-4 game here in the bottom of the 8th.
My partner's birthday. Relive one of your favorite 70s classic on Grease Movie Fireworks Night presented by Xfinity on Friday, May the 20th. That's your big night, right?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yes.
Which is game 2 of the game 2 of the A's 4-game series against the New York Yankees. After the game, fans can watch a fireworks show from the outfield grass. As always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. I can't wait for your birthday.
I can't either.
I mean, they're having a fireworks show on your birthday?
No, plus it's Grease. You know what they say about Grease, Ray?
What do they say?
It's got groove, it's got meaning.
Wow, that's impressive. I like
you ever
that.
seen that movie, Ray? Come on.
Steve Finelli saw it.
Classic.
It's a good movie.
So Tony Sipp in. The A's have scored twice here. Giles wasn't out there very long, and the A's took advantage. So Sipp facing Reddick. On the ground, Altuve has it. So Sipp does what he's supposed to do. Retire Reddick.
All right, Madsen getting loose. He has not pitched for a while. But the A's have tied the game thanks to Ken Giles and the A's scoring 2 off him. Booming home run by Marcus Semien and the speed of Billy Burns. Ricky Henderson be proud, you know, to get thrown out first inning and then steal it in the 8th when it's huge.
2 outs. Here's Chris Davis. Fastball away.
One thing A's hitting coach Darren Bush said about Tony Sips, while he is the only lefty in the bullpen for the Astros, the old saying about reverse splits. He pitches as well against righties, and that's the reason he is in it to face the power hitter Chris Davis. It's a split.
And they're going to say he went around. So 1-1 to Davis, who is 1 for 3 with a double. That's a swing.
Yeah, and he sets up. Tony Sipp does. Watch his setup with his hand. He gets the split grip. So the spread of the index and the middle finger. Can change it in his glove if he so desires.
Curveball hit high in the air to center, playable. Throw his back under it. He's got it. Side retired. A's tie it. A little long ball, and then the speed of Billy Burns. So it's a 4-4 game after 8. Tonight, A's post-game live. It's the A-team. All 4 broadcasters, Vince, Ken, Ray, and myself. We're going to get together and have what we like to call an unscripted roundtable discussion about tonight's game. It's only on A's post-game live and 95.7 The Game. Yeah. To listen to the great Ray Fosse break it down.
Hey, I was told before the game by Ken Korach, said, you know, we both brought jackets tonight for the A-team. So Korach and Catrone will have sports jackets on.
Well, that's really pretty special. That one is belted. Left field trouble. And off the very top of the wall. And Gomez is good around second. He's going to try for third. Here comes Burns' throw. And he is. Oh, wow.
Wow. They're going to check it. Trey Hillman, bench coach, on the phone, but what a great job, if this stands, for Billy Burns to back up the ball off the wall. See where Billy Burns is at the top of your screen. The ball is high off the wall. Coco, no chance to catch it, but backing up is Burns, a strong arm, and he is able to come up with it to make a perfect throw to Coghlan, who has an even better tag on the top of his head. Coghlan catches and tags him, and even though they wanted to take a look at it, see what A.J. Hinch is going to do. But it looked like he clearly got him on the top of the head before.
It's amazing that ball missed going out by maybe a foot. And then he ends up being tagged out at third.
Well, they took a huge route around first base. This is all on his own, and quick tag by Coghlan. And A.J. Hinch is talking to the home plate umpire, and that would be tough to look at because it was called out. Shades of Billy Buckner in the '74 World Series and a great relay. But a great relay. You're right, Kipe. Look how close this is. Whoa. That's the yellow line, but it's got to go over. It did not, but what a job by Billy Burns. If he's not backing up, he's at third base. Gomez is. So Billy Burns steals a base, scores a tying run, and maybe just saved a run.
And here's Marwin Gonzalez. So well executed defensive play by the A's, and they get a huge, and I mean a huge out. And you knew Gomez, just because of the way he plays, you knew he was going to try for third.
But this is how close. Man, look at this.
How about, I said a foot, how about 2 inches?
Exactly, because if it gets above that, it scoots over the out-of-town scoreboard, and it's a home run. But it was a line drive, and fortunately for the A's, it stayed in the park. And Billy Burns did his job.
Just foul, and the count 1-2 to Marwin Gonzalez.
Cap, there is something to be said about base runners who can make the turn around the bag. Gomez almost ran to right field. I mean, almost hit the grass. He ran so wide around first base, and that's a result of running straight down and then making the turn. You can't cut it sharply. If he had started in the kind of the runner's path and then made the turn, he could have pushed off and may saved him a couple of steps and might have gotten in safely. But the stumble plus the big wide turn and the great relay, and he's got it.
And Marwin Gonzalez waves at a pitch.
Yeah, Gomez hit it. See, he's kind of straight there, and he stumbles. Almost hit the first baseman. And then he's looking. He's not even looking at his third base coach. And the old saying, don't be thrown out at third for the first out or the last out. And the aggressiveness of
number 20,
Gomez got it, but what a throw by Billy Burns. Couldn't have been better with the ball coming off the wall that Burns got the ball, because unfortunately Coco does not have the arm strength that Burns does.
It's a pinch hitter, Preston Tucker. Tucker's hitting for Kratz. He's got pretty good power, so you got to be careful.
Now Billy Burns backing up, picked it up bare hand, and a perfect throw to Coghlan in the air, tag, quickly done. He's got it. That's a home plate umpire making a call too.
It's a good changeup from Matson. He loves to throw it, and it's a good one. 0-2 to Tucker. It again. This time Tucker watches it drop low. In the dirt. Tucker this year has a couple of home runs. He's got 9 hits in 43 at bats. Went to the big leagues last year.
No batting gloves. He had a very good year last year for the Astros. A lot of power.
Does not use batting gloves. Very close with the fastball. So now full count.
He'll throw him a changeup 3-2. He likes his changeup. This fastball just missed. Fans didn't like it. Hard for an umpire to miss that one. Matson thought he got it. Pull the string on it.
And he did, and he reached for it, poked down the left field line. Coco should get there, and he will. Side retired. So a big play defensively, and we're going to the bottom of the ninth. This game is all tied at 4. It'll be Vogt, Coghlan, and Crisp.
Player of the game, Sean Manaea, his major league debut. We will give it to him because he pitched in the 6th inning. His family and friends all on hand to watch him in his debut. 5+ innings, good slider. He would throw his first major league pitch, a strike. Sean Manaea, a good job, although he would hit a batter and walk a batter in his fateful 6th inning. Both would come around to score. But thanks to the home run by Marcus Semien, base running by Billy Burns, he gets a no decision in his debut.
And here come the A's in the bottom of the ninth. Stephen Vogt to lead it off against the lefty Tony Sipp. Vogt wanted to send us all home with a smile on our face. Castro now the catcher. Left center, and a diving attempt by Gomez passed him to the wall. Vogt to second with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, you talk about a flip job, and Tyler Leydendorf's going to run for Stephen Vogt, who's going to get a nice hand as he exits second base. But slider away, just flipped it out to left field, left center, and Gomez, who was out at third, tries to make a diving catch here. Almost comes up with it, but not backing up enough was Rasmussen. A double for Stephen Vogt leading off this 9th inning.
Number 20, Mark Canha.
So now Canha's going to hit. Leydendorf to pinch run, Canha to pinch hit.
One thing we've seen from Mark Canha, although Pat Neshek warming up quickly. Casey Castro out to visit, maybe take a little bit extra time for Neshek if he is the one to get loose. But Canha, the one thing about him, he's hit 3 home runs. They've gone to right field. And so his right field stroke has been outstanding for the A's. And nothing else. He does it right here. A.J. Hinch may go to his right-hander. Neshek was up last inning and probably is loose. And that's what he's going to do.
So Neshek's coming in to face Canha. The winning run is at second base. Log on each week as our insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, and special guests. The A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz on CSNCalifornia.com. It's also available on iTunes. He's trying to give Joe something to write about.
Joe would think about something anyway, but a victory would be even better for the A's and Joe.
So Neshek to face Canha here in the bottom of the ninth. Coco Crisp is the on-deck hitter. After Crisp, it's Alonso. So Vogt led off this inning with the double. Leidendorf, the runner. Leidendorf, the pinch runner. Canada bunt. And the pitch is outside.
Ron Washington, the A's third base coach, who did not put an ice bag on his right leg after being nailed. He's talking to Tyler Leidendorf and also to Mark Canha while Neshek was in and warming up. So the first bunt attempt, you'd have to think he's going to do the same, although right side of the infield open, White, the first baseman, up on the grass. So inside out swing, but I think he's going to think about bunting.
And that one not close. 2-0.
Leidendorf has outstanding speed.
Corner infielders in. That's White and Gonzalez. Something else to think about, Ray. Good arms in the outfield.
Yeah.
Rasmus, Springer have terrific arms, and Gomez has a pretty good arm as well. So keep that in mind. And they're Springer playing very shallow in right field.
And Ron Washington very well aware of those strong arms. Scouting reports, and of course he has seen them working the outfield for the Astros.
Canha swinging away, and it's a strike outside corner. So when the count got to 2-0, Bob Melvin took the bunt off. Long look down to Ron Washington. Canha bunts it.
Wow.
And it's a good one. Throw to first. And nicely done by Mark Canha. You want that third baseman to have to make the play, because then that really vacates third base, allows your runner to get there.
And you talk about textbook. A's do not bunt a lot. They don't sacrifice a lot, but Mark Canha got the bat out with the angle. He waited on the Neshek slider and placed it perfectly to third base. That is a great bunt by Mark Canha. He had to go out and get it. It just barely got to him, and that's called a true sacrifice. He did it perfectly. Look at the bat hit. Knowing that he wanted to bunt it to Gonzalez, which he did. That got the job done. And right now the outfielders are playing way too deep with the go-ahead run at third base. We'll see what A.J. Hinch is going to do. He has the lefty, or switch hitter Chris, Alonso the lefty, then Simeon the righty. He could walk two guys to load the bases, play for the run at the plate. But if the outfielders stay where they are and there's a fly ball, they're not going to throw anybody out. I don't care how strong their arms are. We're going to play the normal depth, though.
And they're going to pitch to Coco. Alonso, the on-deck hitter. Infield in. And the first pitch to Coco is right there at the knees for a strike. Coco has hit a 2-run homer. He did that in the second inning. He singled in the fifth, and he hit a fly ball to center in the seventh. Coco trying to be a hero. Drops down and in. Then fires Giles, Sip, and now Neshek. Just a touch low. Neshek wanted it.
Now watch Neshek's follow through at this point. He thinks he got a strike and it wasn't called, and just a little bit too low. Ed Hoberg has waited on a lot of calls tonight. Now the outfield has all the outfield's moved in now, all around, as they know the winning runs at third.
Inside, 3-1.
You always have to think, now they're going to put him on, you always have to think opposite field against Neshek.
So they will now walk Coco Crisp, and they're going to go after Yonder Alonso. This is the first walk issued tonight by the Astros. So now it's interesting, Ray, if you're the middle infielders, what do you do?
Well, they may
play kind of halfway.
Yeah, but this is tough because if you go for 2, last year the A's had a situation where Billy Burns was the hitter. They went for 2. Can't remember who it was, and he beat it out, and it cost him a game. But they're going to play him. To me, the hard part about watching this is a shift with a go-ahead run, winning run at third base, the whole left side of the infield open. I think we'd all like to see a ground ball to short.
Yeah, the shortstop Correa playing just to the right of second base.
I meant the shortstop position.
The position.
The location of shortstop.
First pitch to Alonso, just a bit high. Marwin Gonzalez staying parked right near third base. He's trying to, he's trying to keep Lindorf somewhat close. Yeah. He can't really venture off too far.
Yeah, if he went off too far, it could be just a push bunt for a game winner too.
So he's got to kind of hold that area. 1-0 pitch deep to right.
Wow.
This should do it in walk-off fashion. That baby's gone.
Get your first home run for your Athletics new ball club. What a great shot. Wow.
So that has to feel good for one Yonder Alonso, one of the new A's who's been struggling some offensively. But he got a pitch from Neshek. He was looking for any way to get the run home, and he did it in style.
I mean, this ball was crushed, mislocation by Neshek. And Yonder Alonso has said, I've got power. And he showed it there halfway up in right field with a massive home run, monster home run by Yonder Alonso. Wow.
So a little celebration time at the Coliseum. First walk-off of the year, and that indeed was no doubter. Everybody knew it off the crack of the bat, well into the seats in right field. So the A's get the win, and they get back to the 500 mark at 12-12. And after kind of a disappointing finish to the road trip, they start the homestand off on a very exciting note. A walk-off win and a walk-off home run as well. And the man who hit it, Yonder Alonso, is standing by downstairs. Yonder, congratulations. I know you've been struggling a little bit offensively with your new team. It has to feel great to contribute this way with your new ball club and do it in dramatic fashion.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, you know, we came back and battled. We've been playing some good baseball, and just got to give credit to all the guys on the team. The pen kept us close. Everybody pitched well, and we played good defense. It was just a good team win.
You know, Yonder, you have said all along, I have power, and you use the whole field. You spray the ball around. When you have that situation,
my God, that's cold.
I bet it is.
Oh my, that's a good one though. Oh, wow.
Well, now you're officially in Oakland.
Yeah,
now I'm in Oakland.
That's right. But talk about your power, because you do use the whole field, which is very smart hitting.
Yeah.
A situation like that, you want to get the ball in the air, but look for a pitch. Just talk about just the power that you put on the swing.
You know, we worked earlier today with the hitting coaches, and you know, we came out here earlier in the day and we just did some mechanical stuff, trying to calm things down, and it worked out. You know, all these guys have my back and I have theirs, so you know, it's just nice to contribute and do the things we got to do to win some games.
Yonder, in the bat against Neshek, now you see the middle infielders, they're back, so you're thinking double play. This guy's a sinker guy.
Yeah.
He needs a double play.
Yeah.
Take us through kind of your thought process, because he still threw your ball down a little bit, but it just kind of dropped into your wheelhouse. But what are you thinking? How are you trying to lift the ball when you know he's trying to sink it?
You know, I just saw Wash. Wash is his birthday today, by the way, and all he kept telling me was just to calm down, get a good pitch to hit, and all I was looking for is a fastball and just putting a good swing, trying to calm myself down during that situation, and just know I had to hit the ball hard, put a good swing together, and you know, we had some fast guys on base as well, and just put some good swings, and hopefully something good can happen.
What did you think about Sean Manaea pitching as he's making his Major League debut tonight? Everybody goes through their Major League debuts. What did you see in him?
I saw a guy that was poised. Saw a guy that had a lot of strike ones, and you know, he battled. He kept the ball down. He used his curveball, his slider, his changeup. I mean, the guy is impressive. I was impressed with him in spring training, and looking forward to having him for the long haul and contribute with us.
All right, Yonder. Well, congratulations. Your first home run is a walk-off. Nice job.
All right, thanks.
All right, so Yonder Alonso finally gets things going a little bit. He did swing the bat a little bit better on the road trip, but tonight a walk-off home run. Good for him.
And let's not forget, he made a play we very rarely see, a slide and a catch in foul territory at the Coliseum. He's played outstanding defense. What he did tonight offensively, I'm sure everybody's going to be talking about.
All right, so it is a final in walk-off fashion. Yonder Alonso, a 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth after the A's tied it. In the eighth, 7-4 is your final. The A's over the Astros. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California, part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Post Game Live with Guy Haberman and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.